is up? Welcome back to Fondling Cardboard. I'm your host, Mike Lacusta, aka the Golf Card Collector. I am passionate about golf trading cards, and I have this podcast for those of you who also love trading cards. Now, it doesn't have to be golf, but today we're going to be talking 2024 new releases for golf cards. But first of all, man, my house is busy. We are getting ready for Christmas. We just put up our tree. We haven't decorated it or anything yet. Life's pretty crazy with the two little ones, and you can only have short windows of time to fit in your to-dos. And I always forget about American Thanksgiving. And so happy Thanksgiving to all of the American listeners out there and all of my friends down south of the border. Canadian Thanksgiving was in early October, as it is every year. And today, let's just share what we're thankful for. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about a few things that we're thankful for. We're thankful for golf. And so we'll be hitting on some golf news from around the world. And even though there's a lot of drama and controversy, there are still many things to be thankful for. Next, we're going to get into 2024 golf set releases, which, of course, I'm very thankful for. Now, last episode, we had an interview with our vintage expert, John Morton, about coming across a one-of-one Grail golf card. And the episode before that, we talked about the 2024 Upper Deck golf set that has been announced. And we made some predictions of what's coming next. Well, we know at least the next step. We'll go over what we know so far about 2024 Upper Deck game used golf, who it's for, what you should be looking forward to with it, and why you might not be interested, and what we think is going to be coming next after that. And then we'll get into the card of the week, Collector's Corner, and all that jazz. But first, let's get into the golf news. There is a lot of exciting golf news around the world, despite it being basically off-season for golf. For those of you who don't know, the fall is usually quite slow in the world of golf. That's when the players that are trying to make a move in the standings, improve their position on the world golf rankings list, to earn their full-time tour card, those sorts of things. Those are the guys who are really active in the fall, but the big names usually taking this time to rest. But still, there's been a lot of exciting news. Tiger Woods has committed, finally, to a couple of golf events for the first time since he pulled out of the Masters earlier this year. He'll be playing competitively, might I add, at the Hero World Challenge, which is actually the same event that Tiger made his return to action back in, 2017, I think? Maybe 2018, back when he had some spinal fusion surgery done. And it's just a nice flat course for Tiger just to test out his strides. Tiger has also committed to the PNC Championship, which is, I believe, in December. And this one's actually more exciting in my eyes. I mean, Tiger playing competitive golf is great, but it's a bit of a dream to hope that he actually wins another event or is competitive at the majors. But the reason PNC Championship is exciting is that he'll be teaming up with his son, Charlie Woods, as he's done for a few years now. And this is considered a PGA Champions Tour event, if I am not mistaken. And so it's not actually a proper PGA event. However, it'll be exciting to see how Charlie is swinging. All the news that we get about tournaments he's playing in is that Charlie is looking damn good. In other news, the TGL was supposed to kick off in the spring of 2024, and there's news that a giant storm in Florida has taken out the arena that they have been building for this new league. If you just kind of glanced at it or crossed your eyes looking at the photo, it just looked like almost like a snowboard trick park with the big roof sagging everywhere, looking like half pipes and ski jumps. Maybe it's not a bad thing that the league is going to be delayed, because there was also some news and rumblings happening as we neared the beginning of the launch. One of those is that Jon Rahm, one of the top 3 players in the world, has pulled out. So he won't be competing in the TGL. Now, it's not a surprise because Jon Rahm is really targeting the majors. He has this mission. I don't think he's publicly said it, but he wants to be the greatest Spanish golfer of all time. And so he's got to compete against the likes of Seve, Sergio Garcia, to name a few. I'm sure there's others. And I mean, beyond that, I'm sure he even wants to chase the all-time greatest list. So competing in a Monday night league might get in the way once he looks at the logistics and realizes, I got to travel here and then there. And he's one of these guys, I think he's living in Arizona, whereas a lot of the other golfers actually permanently live in Florida. So it's not as big of a deal to travel there. So I really hope this isn't a sign that John is maybe going to sign with Liv or make any other drastic moves in his game. I think it's just a matter of being tired and trying to narrow down his focus. And he's also got some younger kids at home. I can definitely relate with wanting to be around for them. Rory McIlroy has stepped down from the Players Committee. Previously, he had been the poster boy for the PGA, and he had taken a lot of flack, and the commissioner, Jay Monahan, had just completely threw him under the bus for both of their shared stance initially against Live Golf. Jay Monahan completely flipped the script, and Rory had to stand by his laurels and was pretty much chewed out in public because of it. I personally am not against Rory. I think this is a smart move. I think we're a couple weeks ahead of the deadline for the framework agreement between the public investment firm, PIF, of Saudi Arabia and the PGA. They have until sometime in December to finalize an agreement. I have a feeling it's going to get extended. And so Rory needs to get out now while he can, because if he gets out when there's other news breaking, it could be taken the wrong way that he's trying to run. At least he can step down now and say, you know what, this is just not the position for me. I have to focus on different aspects of my life, and there isn't going to be as much scrutiny. So good for you, Rory. And then lastly, we're going to talk about a couple of big wins that are actually exciting, as well as in the card world as much as the PGA. So a couple of rookies have won their first PGA events. And I'm going to throw it over to the guys on the First Cut podcast, which is a CBS Sports podcast, because they really sum it up perfectly of what the meaning is for these two guys. All right, here you go.
While many of you were sleeping, Nikolai Højgaard won the DP World Tour Championship by 2 shots over Tommy Fleetwood, Victor Hovland, and Matt Wallace, thanks to a Sunday 64 highlighted by a stretch of golf. Why can't I expand this? Where he made, there it is. Thank you, Josh. Where he made 5 consecutive birdies on the back 9 there. That would be 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 5 straight birdies, holds on, and wins the DP World Tour Championship.
Yeah, the shot on 17 was pretty nasty. That's right about when I decided to turn it on after my morning walk, and from like 200-ish yards, it was like a 6-iron, I think. Throw it in there 4 feet, and then he heads to the 18th, goes for it in 2 from the left rough. The announcers thought he might decide to lay up, but he went for it with a long iron, got it greenside, putted it down to 4 feet, and missed it. And he buried his head in his cap. But at that very same time, you know what happened? Tommy Fleetwood 3-putted the 17th green for a bogey, pretty much ending the golf tournament and giving it to Nikolai, who played just phenomenal golf. And we talk about what was at stake this week. Obviously, Rory McIlroy had already won his 5th race to Dubai, given his regular season. But there are PGA Tour cards as well, and Nikolai Højgaard is someone who's going to be on the PGA Tour next year, someone golf fans are only going to get more and more familiar with. 22, Ryder Cup member already, 3-time DP World Tour winner, Rolex Series winner as well. Really strong off the tee, great wedge player, and for just to look at the whole landscape of professional golf, you have Ludwig at 24 winning today, you have Nikolai at 22 winning today. It was a really cool golf day in the world of golf.
March 12th, 2001 is when Nikolai was born.
That hurts.
That is disgusting.
That hurts.
It is truly, truly painful. A runner-up finish at the Nedbank Golf Championship last week, a win in Dubai this week. Patrick, the concept of a post-Ryder Cup bump, a post-President Cup bump, it seems to come up quite a bit. Is this another point of evidence of such a team format?
It's a good question. And I think the DP World Tour kind of posted a little clip between him and Rory waiting off the 18th green after the tournament ended, and them kind of just shooting the crap together, talking about tennis, talking about their backhands and whatever. Who just let it be known out there, I think I could take Rory in a match on the tennis court. And I think it just helps with maybe not the confidence. Sure, the confidence comes with, him carrying John Rahm that one match. He made like 7 birdies on the front side to keep them in it. And then Rahm went bananas on the back. But a sense of comfort that, I belong with the Rory McIlroys. I belong with the John.
Yes.
Yes. And when you already have the talent and you can add that comfort level that you belong, that it makes for a very dangerous and very exciting future career for someone like a Nikolai.
So there you go. That's Nikolai Højgaard. I still haven't figured out how to pronounce his name properly. In terms of his cards, he has cards all throughout the 2021 sets. So you can pick up Nikolai Højgaard cards from 2021 Upper Deck Artifacts Golf, from 2021 SP Game Used Golf, as well as 2021 SP Authentic Golf. He's got rookie cards, rookie autograph cards, patch cards, rookie patch autograph cards, serial numbered parallels, all sorts of good stuff. And I have noticed that his prices have gone up recently in sales on eBay. Now, going from $5 to $10 to $20 to $30 is a big jump in terms of percentage, but if you look at other stars of the game, their rookie autographs and rookie patch autos can go for a lot more than that. So not that I'm giving investing advice, but yeah, I think this guy is definitely a future of the game and could be worth looking into if you think you're going to be a fan of Nikolai. But Nikolai was really just the warm-up, because the real exciting win of the week is with a young man named Ludvig Aberg. Here, I'm going to throw you back to the First Cut podcast for some more info on Ludvig.
The youth in this game and how good they are at their young age is just never ending. And Ludvig Aberg has done it again. A phenomenal fall that just capped off with his very first PGA Tour victory. He already had a DP World Tour Championship under his belt earlier this year, and it was a pair of weekend 61s. That's 9 under. 61 on the weekend to win by 4 shots over Mackenzie Hughes.
He left strokes out there today.
Yeah, he did.
He par on the par 5, bogey on the 12th. He had a few kind of nasty lip outs as well. He missed a short birdie putt as well. This easily could have been like a 58. And his 61 yesterday, he was field average on the greens. He gained almost like 6 strokes from tee to green, I think. It was just a clinic the entire week. His lone drop shot came at the 12th today, his only bogey of the entire week. And it's just really impressive stuff. And it's been ever since he's come out of college. This past half year has been a show. In particular, the last 8 starts, he has 8 straight top 15 finishes. He has 2 wins during that period, his Ryder Cup debut as well. And this wasn't, I know he won by 4 over Mackenzie Hughes, but this wasn't really given to him. He had 4 opening birdies to open up a 4-stroke lead. And then Hughes came back with 4 of his own. He hopped on the birdie train right after Aubert stepped off, and he made 4, cut the lead to 2. Made a really nice par after having to take a drop for an embedded lie there on 11, and kind of gave Aubert everything he could handle. And so credit to Mackenzie Hughes for that, who after a pretty miserable season played really, really good this fall. But this was just class personified from Ludvig.
77 days is the time frame in which he's won on the PGA Tour, the European Tour, and a Ryder Cup. Since September, he has done all of that. You go back a little bit farther, and it's just more top 10s. I mean, it's stupid. Are we Are we seeing something really, really special, or just something like it's very easy to be a prisoner of the moment, right? It's very easy to say, holy crap, this 6 months has been unbelievable. He's answered every question that has been asked of him. He is going to be a superstar. He's going to be the number one player in the world. It's easy to do that right now, but like, where are the flaws? And he plays such a modern game, and the swing is, I don't even know where it could go wrong. Like, I don't know where something could get out of line. It is terrifying what I think he might end up being.
It's very scary. And Sean Martin sent out a tweet. He was on the ground covering the event for the PGA Tour, and he was hanging out at a Starbucks every morning that the players went to, and he overheard a couple players talking about it. And one guy said, this guy could be the next freaking Tiger Woods. And the other player said, I just don't see a future where I am beating Ludwig Aberg. And one of the guys was Wesley Bryant.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he replied, he goes, I'm player 2 or I'm player 1. And it's just, if you are someone who's in your like mid-30s right now, pushing 40, someone like a Mackenzie Hughes, who's a winner on the PGA Tour, played unbelievable golf this weekend. He shot 60 yesterday, and I think he shot 63 today, and he still got clipped over the weekend by Ludwig too. It's just got to be so disheartening. And yeah. I don't know if it's prisoner of the moment or what, but I mean, the sky's the limit for this kid because he's so good off the tee. I put it out there, he might be the best driver of the golf ball ever when it's like all said and done.
Before this week, it was a given that Eric Cole was going to be the rookie of the year. It was over. There was no way for him to lose it. Then as Ludwig got into contention, I think the conversation might have been, well, the only way he can lose it is if Ludwig actually wins this thing. And sure enough, he does. So here are the two resumes. Eric Cole played 37 times this year, made the cut in 27 of them, had 2 runner-up finishes, 7 top 10s. Ludwig only played 11 times, a win, a runner-up, and 3 top 10s, but 7 top 25. So this is actually interesting because one guy's results are way better. Ludwig's are better, but Eric Cole did it longer, 3 times as long. Does longevity matter here?
I think it's Ludwig.
Oh my God.
Unfortunately, Ludwig Aberg does not have any trading cards so far, and we're just having to cross our fingers that hopefully he will be in one of these 2024 Upper Deck golf sets. I mean, I assume he's not. So cross our fingers, I guess, that he'll be in one of the subsequent sets. And the reason I don't think he's in one of these sets is that, 6 or 9 months ago, he was literally an amateur. So I don't think Upper Deck would have been able to have the foresight to put him in that far ahead. But hey, you can always hope. And who knows, maybe like we talked about in the last episode, with game-dated moments, Upper Deck might produce a Ludwig Aberg wins the RSM. All right, we're almost 20 minutes into the podcast, and we haven't talked a lot about cards, so let's dive into the topic of the day, which is the 2024 Upper Deck Game Used golf set that was just released after, about a month ago, the 2024 Upper Deck golf set was released. Now, I'm going to get into the details of what a Game Used set is compared to just a basic Upper Deck golf, but I'm just going to set the scene. Back in 2021, I was getting back into trading cards in a big way, and I was pumped about the golf sets that were going to be coming out. And Upper Deck released 3 sets that would be coming out. They'd be coming out staggered, but they made the announcement all at once. And I was pumped. In fact, I was really just distracted by the first release date. I didn't pay much attention to what Upper Deck was going to be doing with the subsequent ones, but Upper Deck Artifacts is what I was all pumped about. But it got me thinking, they've done a different tactic here. Why did they announce them all at once back in 2021? I think that they were trying to show commitment to the sport of golf. I think they were trying to build up hype around it, because if they just announced one set and it was kind of this random artifact set, they might not build as much hype. And at that time, back in 2021, there were a lot of problems with printing and production and shipping new products because of the pandemic and supply chain issues. And so I think they were just wanting more good news to be announced. And it was kind of needed when they're struggling to get cards out. The more good news, the better that they're positioned. And if you fast forward to now, Upper Deck just announced one set, and then a month later, a second set. So why would they change their approach? I don't know for sure, but I think they're testing the waters. They're testing the waters on the lower end set first, just to see what kind of feedback we have. And I mean, another option is another idea is maybe they just don't have certainty of what their sets are going to look like, and they can't necessarily commit to these new releases. They're still dotting all their I's and crossing all their T's. And, going back to the idea of hype, another idea I had is maybe they're staggering the hype. So rather than needing a big burst of good news all at once, maybe they need to string us along for a few months just to keep us engaged. In any case, let's dive into the details. We're going to go over what we know about the set so far, some of the key players that have been announced, what the product format and structure is going to look like, who the product's for, and what you might be looking forward to, and what you might not be interested in, and what's going to be coming next. So, in terms of what we know, there's not a lot. There's a few cards spoiled on the Cardboard Connection site, David Adams' site. One detail that really stuck out to me, somebody pointed out, actually a couple people pointed out in our Facebook group, the golf cards and memorabilia, is that Justin Thomas is spoiled in the players. And one of his memorabilia cards shows an Adidas logo on the patch, which is kind of weird because he's not sponsored by Adidas. In fact, he's sponsored by their competitors, Titleist and FootJoy. So that's a big deal. Hopefully this was just an artist's rendering of what the cards would look like, and the Upper Deck graphic designer just got this wrong. I don't imagine we'd be getting that, because Upper Deck is known for having actual game-used, tournament-used patches and relics in their products, as compared to Panini and perhaps Topps, who's doing off-the-shelf type products. Just kind of having a player put the player worn stuff. So they put the shirt on and take it off, and then they chop it into little patches for the trading cards. Or even cards that are completely unrelated to the athlete in any way. So I really hope that there's not an Adidas Justin Thomas card out there. Thank you to Pascal Garneau and Ryan Sorella for pointing that out in the Facebook group. Who are some of the other key people that have been announced? Well, it's the same people I talked about in my 2024 Upper Deck Golf episode, with the biggest addition being Victor Hovland. But some of the other notables are Michelle Wie West, and she's an interesting option because if you didn't look into the details, you might think she just retired, which she did. And she was super popular 5 to 10 years ago, but she ended up with a relatively pedestrian career. So why on earth is she involved in this product? And, she's an attractive young woman who's, still a collected athlete, but to have her in a new product when she just retired and she's, 30 years old, just seemed off. But I found out that she's actually involved with the LAGC for the TGL. So that's the Los Angeles Golf Club for the Tiger Golf League. So maybe that's why she's in this product, or I would like to hope that there was some reasoning there. Some other notables are Sahith Theegala. We already have some cards for Sahith, but they're just from the multi-sport sets. So that's Metal Universe Champions and Goodwin Champions. So to have him in a dedicated golf set is going to be pretty great. And lastly, worth mentioning is Matthew Fitzpatrick. And I don't remember if I mentioned Matthew Fitzpatrick on my past 2024 Upper Deck Golf review, but obviously as the U.S. Open winner and up-and-coming star, it's great to see him in there. As for the product itself, there are 5 cards per pack, and there's only 1 pack in a box. So for those of you who are familiar with the 2021 Upper Deck Game Use Golf, Similar format, you're going to be paying over $100 for just 5 cards in one pack. So it's a proper gamble. I mean, each pack contains 3 hits, so that could be a relic, auto, or a patch auto card, as well as 2 base cards. So you're really paying, I believe David Adams has $120 US currently. So you're paying $120 to just get 3 hits. You really hope you're getting somebody big because, I mean, Victor Hovland, Tiger Woods, maybe even Justin Thomas. I don't know if he would quite do it as a non-rookie card. So you're really looking for grasping for straws for individual hits that will really pay for it. Unless you were to hit, a really low numbered card, a 1 of 1, Supreme Gear numbered out of 3, that kind of stuff. That'll be a good hit. But I don't know. It's not a huge price for a box. I just get concerned at the number of cards that you get in a box. So that takes me to who this product is for. And I think if you're planning on actually buying and ripping the sealed products, you're really just looking for a thrill. But for those of us who like to just collect the cards, it's not bad to buy these cards on the secondhand market. There are people who are looking for cool cards with a flavor of the past, because this is an established brand from, I believe, in the 20-teens is around when SP Game used. Maybe it was in the early 2000s as well. So there's lots of autos and patch cards, and you could probably pick up quite a few of them for the price tag of a box of $120 US. And, that might be why you're interested. Chasing after Victor Hovland, I think, is really the most exciting part of this release, considering how he closed out last season as the FedEx Cup champion and basically undefeatable for the final 4 or 5 tournaments of the year. So Victor Hovland is really going to be the exciting part of this release, but there's going to be lots of other golfers to collect. As for why you might not be interested in this set, it's sticker autos, which is something that's always bothered me about this particular brand of game used, is because if you're paying $120 for a single pack of cards, to have them be sticker autos just feels like a bit of a slap in the face. Now, I have sticker autos in my collection that I enjoy, and I don't have anything necessarily against sticker autos. I prefer on-card autos, but to be considered a high-end product, it doesn't seem right to me. There's Flawless and Impeccable and other brands by Panini, for example, that do have sticker products. For the most part, they're on-card autographs because they are so high-end. But whenever I see one of those high-end products with sticker autographs, it just doesn't seem right to me, and I personally have never really bought those. The exceptions are, like, the guy that I really PC is Matthew Wolff, and I do have some of his RPAs, rookie patch autographs, from the 2021 SP Game used, and to have, like, his RPA serial numbered out of 10, it's not that big of a deal if it's on a sticker auto. Similar with Artifacts, to have his RPA from Artifacts serial numbered out of 10, it's not the end of the world to have it on a sticker. And that brings us to what's coming next. Now, I don't have a crystal ball, but I can guess. And my guess is that this is following a similar trajectory as 2021 with a different announcement strategy. So the first set, they test the waters with something that's kind of unique. So in 2021, that was Upper Deck Artifacts. In 2024, that is going to be this flagship set that they haven't produced since 2005 or something like that. Second, they come out with SP Game Used, which is consistent with 2021. And my prediction is that third is going to be SP Authentic. Now, beyond that, we don't know. We don't even know if SP Authentic is coming because it hasn't been announced. Maybe a month from now it will be. But as of this recording, we only have the flagship and Game Used. But I predict SP Authentic, and then will come something exciting. And maybe this is just me throwing it out in the universe, just hoping that I will manifest it myself. But I want to see that chrome metal style of premium golf cards. And the idea I had before when I've talked about this is O-Pee-Chee Platinum. And I would love, love, love to see an O-Pee-Chee Platinum golf set. Now, if you got to call it 2024 Upper Deck Platinum Golf, that's fine too. But Upper Deck employees that are listening to this, that's what we want. Let's get into card of the week spotlight. And if I had a Ludwig Aberg card, 100% he would be the card of the week. But unfortunately, he does not. So I'm going to reach out to the other winner that we talked about today, which was Nikolai Højgaard or Højgaard. And I really honestly was not planning on having Nikolai as the card of the week. But the fact that he won his first I don't know if that's considered a PGA event, but the first DP World Championship, which is a big deal for this young guy, and he will be playing on the PGA Tour next season. This is his week, so he deserves to be the card of the week, and I will save some of the other spicy stuff I've been cooking for future card of the week episodes. The card in question is the 2021 Upper Deck Artifacts Golf Nikolai Højgaard dual relic rookie autograph. So this is technically his first ever RPA, his first ever rookie patch autograph. It's serial numbered out of 149. And the way that these parallels work, there is a gold version that's numbered out of 25. And this version is the silver out of 149. The back talks about some of his stats. And this kind of just shows how young this guy is. Because normally when you look at these stats, it talks about events played in, how many they've made the cut, top 10 finishes, major wins, tour wins, and earnings. And this guy, his career as of the printing of this card, he had only played in 11 events. He had made 4 cuts and only had 1 top 10 finish. His career earnings was $242,000. And I mean, that sounds like a lot of money. But a lot of money for how old is this guy? 22 years old. But for career earnings on a pro, that is not going to keep him in the business. So bravo, Nikolai, for showing everybody what you're made of. And I'll be posting this up on the Facebook group, Golf Cards and Memorabilia, as well as on Instagram, which is @FondlingCardboard, or my personal Instagram, which is The Golf Card Collector. Let's get into Collector's Corner. This week, there was a Canadian auction on eBay that I ended up buying 6 cards from that I don't need. And it was just a pile of cards from one of my favorite sets of all time that drew me into this seller. And it was one of my favorite cards of all time, the 2021 Upper Deck Artifacts Diamond Relic Tiger Woods. And I already have 2 copies of that card. I've talked about it in past episodes. But I'm still going to watch whenever that one pops up at auction. And I'm going to try and snag as many as I can. But I made a bit of a mistake. And the mistake is actually masked as advice that I've given to others in the past. And yet when I use it for myself, it ends up being a mistake. So this is to check out other listings when a card comes up for sale from that same seller. And the idea is that if you have a card that you want to buy from this seller and you're actually pretty confident that you're going to win it, then maybe you could package it together. You can package it with, if it's buy now, then you can make an offer for multiple cards and you're more likely to get a better discount for bulk. Or if it's an auction, then keep your eye on multiple cards that you're interested in. If you win the one that's sort of the pivotal piece, then you can win the others as sort of contingency bids. Now you can do this actually systemically through a sniping service and setting up grouping bids and stuff, but I'm not going to get into that. But just, if you're watching bids yourself, you can wait until the pivotal auction ends. If you win it, then you start throwing bids on other auctions, because if you win them, you can combine shipping, which is a big deal for us international collectors, being able to get multiple cards all bundled together and shipped at once, not having to pay ridiculous shipping fees, cross borders, all that sort of stuff. But I kind of took this a little too far, because when I saw this Tiger Woods card, I said, I want to win that. I want 3 copies of this card. And I didn't end up winning it. Yet, I had saved so many darn auctions from this seller. I want to say there was like 30 cards listed that I was interested in. And this seller does thousands of sales. So I ended up winning 6 of them, even though my pivotal card was a loss. So I'm just received this batch in the mail. I mean, they're nice cards, and I'm going to probably be happy to have some of them. Some might be worth flipping or selling. We'll see. Maybe trade bait. And I do think I got good deals on them. So I'm going to flip through them. I got a Greg Norman Autofax. So it's an autograph card. It's a sticker auto, which takes away a little bit from the card. But other than that, the card is absolutely beautiful. And it's in such good condition that I'm actually considering sending it off for grading. Next up is a Colin Morikawa rookie card. So this is just his Artifacts base rookie, which is serial numbered out of 999. Next up is a Tiger Woods Orem Achievements card. Now, Orem is a parallel within Artifacts, and the achievement, I haven't wrapped my head around how you get one of these achievement cards. I don't know if they're just inserted into the e-packs that you have to open online, or if you actually have to achieve this card somehow, whether through completing a registered set of cards or what. But I know when this Tiger achievement card came out, they were selling pretty high on eBay, like $30, $40 US. And I picked this up for, $5 or $6 Canadian, so $3 or $4 US. So I think that's a pretty darn good snag. I posted in the group Golf Cards and Memorabilia to see if anybody could tell me what the achievement is, and nobody seems to know. 3 more cards to go. Next 2 are my man Matthew Wolf. So the first is a leaderboard from Upper Deck Game Used. Actually, funny enough, that's the Game Used is a set coming out in 2024 we just talked about, but this is from 2021. And the leaderboard cards are interesting because Game Used autographs all have the sticker autos. However, the leaderboard cards have this letter for each letter in the athlete's name, and this is an L. And they're little, I assume, plastic or paper with the letter printed on it that the athlete hard signs. So it's not a sticker auto, it's an on-letter auto. That's actually something to look out for. I believe that they're doing these leaderboard letter mark inserts again. Someone like Victor Hovland, you can actually get your first on-card autos that are not stickers. I actually won one of these Matthew Wolf leaderboard autos in a group break a couple months ago. And that one's sitting at my Ship My Cards account. So I don't have it in hand yet, but I already have 2 letters. This one's an L, so hopefully the other one's a W, O, or an FF. Maybe I can go for the whole Wolf. And the other Matthew Wolf is his Artifacts RPA. Serial numbered out of 85. Dual patch. They're kind of blue napkin type patches. Nice signature Wolfie autograph. Of course, I own this card already in a gold parallel, which is serial numbered out of 10. So the out of 85 version is not necessarily a chase for me. This is sort of an impulse buy. I have nothing to upgrade it to because I already own the upgrade. But I guess you can never have too much of a good thing. And then last but not least is the same card in Artifacts RPA of Bryson DeChambeau. Oh, I didn't even realize till now, I also own this in a gold serial number out of 10. So there you go. A couple of cards I did not need, but pretty cool cards to have in the collection. Beautiful cards. I'll probably throw them in the trade case when I go to shows to entice others to collect these guys that I know and love. But one nice thing that came out of buying all these cards from the seller is that a week later, the seller actually posted something that ended up being exactly one of my target cards. And I ended up winning it. The scenario of buying all these 6 auctions from them didn't necessarily influence that situation because it definitely would have triggered one of my save searches on eBay, so I would have come across the card anyways. But having done a deal with this seller already maybe gives me a little bit more comfort in putting in a higher bid for the card and winning it. So that card is a Clayton Keller O-Pee-Chee Platinum Rookie on-card autograph, serial numbered out of 50. And I'm really pumped to have this card because it's my first big Clayton Keller Arizona Coyotes card. I also have one of his PMGs. I think I talked about it in the last episode, but this is kind of my first foray into a big Coyotes card. Now, on the topic of hockey cards, I've actually been watching a lot of hockey lately and following my childhood team, the Arizona Coyotes. And the guys I'm looking for, Clayton Keller, Shane Doan, and Mike Smith. Clayton's the only current player, but Shane Doan and Mike Smith were kind of my main guys when they made that big run in the 2012-2013 playoffs, when they ended up losing to the Kings in the conference finals. But yeah, I'll definitely be keeping my eye out for big cards of those guys. The Coyotes seem to be having a good start this season. As soon as I started watching, they dropped 3 games in a row to drop below 500 on their record. So that's a little disappointing. Hopefully they pull up their pants and get back to work. Once again, happy Thanksgiving to my friends in America. As always, we're going to be closing out with a quote. Actually, in this case, I've got 2 quotes, so something extra to be thankful for. Before I get to that, though, I have to ask, just subscribe, follow my podcast on whatever platform you're on, leave a comment if there is that feature. It really helps me get the podcast in front of other people who will enjoy it, like yourself. So here's your quotes. And actually, I just came across these on Instagram pages, and there was no author mentioned, so I'm just going to give them to you raw. Enjoy the little things in life, for someday you will look back and realize they were the big things. And I had a similar quote in my very first podcast, the origin story of the golf card collector. But this is a different one because this one is actually about items in my opinion. Now, this can be taken as, enjoy those little moments with your family, enjoy the little wins at work, all those kind of aspects. But in my eyes, it's enjoy the little pieces of your collection that when you show them off, don't get a resounding applause. They're not breaking the bank to acquire them. They might not be necessarily super rare, but they're the pieces that just strike a chord with you. And when you picked it up, you say, I can't believe I bought this for $5. Or this guy just threw it in and it's sitting on your shelf being displayed. And the second quote of the day is, the more you are thankful for, the more you attract things to be thankful for. And this is just a mindset, because if you are grateful for what you're being given, it forces you to live with gratitude. Because the richest man on earth, if he's not thankful for what he has, what on earth could he be thankful for? That's all today, folks. Happy holidays, and I'll see you next week.